Good. All right. Hey, welcome everybody. This is Tom from Game Table Cafe, and we're bringing you another game talk. It's our second episode. We're going to meet some more of the local people who come in and visit here at the Game Table Cafe. Again, just to remind everybody why we're doing this in this time of isolation and where people are, having to endure staying at home. We wanted to bring a couple of things. First of all, we want to give people a sense of hope in the time of uncertainty. Give people a little normalcy in the time of fear. So we're trying to help a little bit. We're trying to bring a little hope that once we get through all this and once we get back to things as whatever the new normal is going to look like, the Game Table Cafe is still going to be here, and we want to kind of bring the community a little bit closer together by allowing you an opportunity to meet some of the people you'll see here on a regular basis at the Game Table Cafe. And we thought we'd take this time to just over the next couple of weeks bring some people in, meet, talk to them, and allow you an opportunity to get to know some of the people around here. So tonight we've got four people joining us. What we're going to do is we've actually got their a father and a son and a married couple, and we're gonna talk to them in two live streams that we've got going on right now. So first up will be Amy and Jesse. We'll have you guys go first. If you would go ahead and introduce yourselves and then tell us how you got into gaming.
Hi, I'm Amy. I'm self-employed, so I'm used to this whole working from home all the time. I got into gaming in high school. I actually started doing theater, and my theater friends live action role played, and live action role playing is actually like the gateway drug into tabletop board gaming. So,
I never knew that.
I went from LARPing to D&D to Magic into board games, so I kind of did it the wrong way.
All right.
Jesse, I got into gaming when I was in my early teens. My parents and my older brother and I had gone to an auction. There was a box of games that included games that you don't even see anymore. One called Cry Havoc and its partners Siege and Samurai Swords. And we got the box for $2. My brother and I did. And that was our descent into gaming.
Nice. That's the way to start right there. Okay, well, cool. John, we'll kick it over to you now. If you guys would introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about how the two of you guys got into gaming.
Well, I'm John, and this is my son Charles, who many people seen in the cafe before. For me, it was all about when I was about 13 years old, I got introduced to the Marvel role-playing game. Classic 80s byproduct, but amazing guilty pleasure. From there, every Thursday, we'd meet in the basement of our comic book shop and play Dungeons & Dragons. And from there, Magic cards got into the picture, and then board gamings and so on, and then we just exploded. Then Charles came along, and he would watch us play board games a lot and want to be included. So I figured, why not just drop him right into the pool? And we started playing games. Yep.
Charles, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into it.
So he got me into the complex board games, but I always liked the regular, the not so complex ones.
Okay, cool. And I just want to say to everybody who's listening in live on YouTube, if you post questions in the comments, we'll get them fed into the mix here. But we've kind of given everybody some pre-arranged questions that we'll kick off here in just a minute. But we really like getting questions from the live audience. That's why we're doing this thing. So we'll start off with our first main question. And I'll kick it over to John and Charles, since we've got you up on the screen right now. Why do you game? What motivates you? What's your primary drive? Is it socialization? Is it the thinking? Is it the strategy? What drives you to want to game?
Not gaming.
It just mainly gives me something fun and entertaining to do.
For me, it's about I get a lot of high anxiety throughout the day. And for me, escaping into a board game or a role-playing game, it's a nice little break from reality. Especially like in today's times. The other day we busted out Raiders of the North Sea, and for 2 hours it was nice to focus on what village am I going to raid instead of how many infections are we up to today in Pennsylvania. So, and Charles is also, he gets pretty competitive. One of our friends, Amanda, and him go back and forth on every game possible, and I think that drives you a lot too.
Yeah, I think I like what you said there, John, because I know for myself, when I'm sitting around the house and there's all this bad news, it's really nice to just focus on something familiar, something that kind of, like you said, an escape from reality, but also I'm not doing it by myself. I mean, it's easy to pick up my phone and play something on my phone, but I like the fact that it's interactive as well.
Right. It's one of the things that can bring us all together, because as a family, we do good, but with a game, we're all at least focused on one thing. We can all communicate with each other, even though we argue a lot when we play. But it brings us kind of together just for a moment where we're not worrying about the outside world, even if it's for an hour or two.
Yeah.
It feels nice.
Yeah. How about you, Amy and Jesse? What drives you to keep gaming? We know how you got into it, but what keeps you coming back to it?
Well, I mean, on a personal note, I've just always really enjoyed it, and it's just been a growing hobby of mine throughout my entire life. From my perspective, though, as a couple, it being something that we shared separately before we got together, and it being a love of both of ours keeps us going back to it, because it's time that we can spend just together and, like John was saying, focus on one thing together at the same time.
I feel like it's a really good way for us to connect, at the end of a busy day, instead of us staring at a Netflix show all night. Actually, our first real date, we were friends before we started dating, but our first real date was to the game table, which I feel like is such a better way to get to know somebody than going to a movie and, again, staring at a screen separately, or even going out to eat on a date, which is a little awkward if you're kind of getting to know somebody and you're just staring at them from across the table. A game gives you something to do and to think about, but a chance to connect at the same time.
Well, that's a little piece of trivia I didn't know about you guys. I didn't know that your first date was here at the Game Table Cafe.
Why do you think we're there all the time?
It is. We actually played the legendary Marvel game.
Yes, I love that game.
And it was love forever.
You fell in love with that game. Joel won't play anything else.
Okay, a couple of questions from the audience I'm going to throw at you guys. So the first one goes to Charles. Yeah, you got the first question there, Charles. What game do you play that you always beat your parents in?
Terraforming Mars.
True.
Terraforming Mars. Win practically every time. Sometimes by half the victory track, sometimes by the tiniest bit.
My favorite Terraforming Mars story with Charles, I took him to the cafe. They were going to have a learn to play night, and the two ladies, Sue and Trish, running it, phenomenal people. But they're teaching the game, and about halfway through, Charles leans over. He goes, "Daddy, they're playing wrong." I said, "What do you mean?" And he goes, "You score a point for every greenery." So we went over the rules, and by the end of the game, I think we won by 46 points.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's half the victory point track.
I can't compete with him at Terraforming Mars. He has an algorithm, a way to set it up that blows my mind.
Greeneries.
All right. Well, that was a good question. The next question I'm going to throw to Jesse. Okay. Because you mentioned Cry Havoc and that type of
Yeah.
what type of games do you naturally gravitate towards?
On a personal, like I'm big into like your high strategy games. Like I say, I mean, I grew up playing like with like the Cry Havoc, Siege, the hexagonal maps. I really enjoy tabletop miniature games. My all-time favorite genre, though, honestly, tabletop RPGs. Like D&D, Shadowrun. You basically get me into any pen and paper game.
Okay. All right, fair enough. Now what type of games do you and Amy collectively gravitate towards?
We play like everything.
Yeah.
We kind of like go through your whole library and we're like, what haven't we played or what haven't we played in a long time?
Yeah. Like we it's getting to a point where we have to start replaying games because there's not enough two-player games.
But in general, probably things that are high strategy,
Okay.
a little bit heavier.
Like the more we have to think while we're playing, the happier we are.
All right. That's my type of gaming too, but that's interesting. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the next question. Talk to me about thematic games. First of all, let me describe what I mean by that. To me, a thematic game is something where the theme is the main draw. So, like maybe like a Lord of the Rings game, or a game with military history where there's a lot of theme associated with it. So, talk to me about: do you love thematic games? Do you hate thematic games? And why? So I'm gonna kick this off by heading over to Jon there. Thematic games, love them, hate them, why?
I'm a sucker almost to a fault for thematic games. There have been many games that I have bought just because I saw Ghostbusters or Ninja Turtles, and then the game turns out to be lousy.
Yeah.
We bought this Mega Man board game because I love Mega Man, and it was 4 hours long before we even got to the first boss, and then we shut it down. So I do know, but I like the theme. Like, I like having some sort of central idea, because some games, when the theme works, it's amazing. Like there's the new Lord of the Rings game that's app-driven.
In the Middle Earth.
Yeah, and then once the theme is there, then it brings me in even more.
That's my top 3.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah, we actually just finished the first storyline or scenario of that, and we lost.
It's so hard, but so.
Yeah, we lost, but it's fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to hear a little more about that one, so I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, we could talk about that later. I'm sure when we get to the top 3, we'll find out a little bit more about that. But so is that the same with you, Charles? Do you like thematic games?
Yeah.
Are you drawn to them, and why?
I like them a lot.
Why do you think you like theme games?
The reason I like them is because if you don't have a theme, like, what's the point of the game?
Okay.
Like,
All right. So how about you guys, Jesse and Amy? Thematic games. Do you love them?
Yeah.
Are you drawn to that Ghostbusters game or not?
I'm probably more of like a Sailor Moon kind of draw girl, like pretty. No, we definitely are. We were talking earlier tonight how about like if there's Cthulhu in the game, like we'll at least try it once. And somebody mentioned that like you played through something, it was really hard and you lost anyway. I feel like when the thematic games are done well, it's often like you almost think you're gonna win and then you lose at the last minute. But if the game's beautiful and has that good storyline to it, it like just makes you want to play again even more. And so that's something that I really like about like the Eldritch horror type thematic game.
Good call. No, that's right. I don't want to interrupt you guys, but even we played Mansions of Madness and we got to the end and we all got destroyed. But like you said, it was worth it because it was the whole story of getting there.
legendary moment of that game.
Hold on, we'll tell them later. Let's let them finish.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
No, there's
Go
nothing.
ahead. Do you want to share your
I
Mansions
was
of Madness
about to
moment?
get eaten by Cthulhu, so I tried to knife Cthulhu. life advice and board game advice. Do not try to knife Cthulhu. I got eaten right after I went insane.
That's good advice. I like that. That's
Cthulhu, you got eaten after you went insane. Like, yeah.
how about
I would have known less.
how about you, Jesse? Do you like thematic games? Are you drawn to a certain type of themes like Cthulhu?
I thoroughly enjoy thematic games. Like Amy was saying, anything with a Cthulhian mythos, and you're gonna have me. As far as it being something that like I have, if it exists under this theme, about a Cthulhian mythos is about the only one that's really gonna snag me. I'll take a look at other ones to see what they are. If it's something that like is nostalgic to me, like John was mentioning Ghostbusters or Ninja Turtles, Mega Man even, I would definitely
Or the fact
look
that
into
we have
those.
2 copies of World of Warcraft, the board game, because he won't let me get rid of either one.
This is true. Lie. We had them separately when we met. It was one of the drawing points to our relationship. But yeah, I definitely won't. I won't let her get rid of one of them. So
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah.
that's definitely this nostalgia on that one, because it's like it's not even like the expanded version that has the Burning Crusade side. It's the original, just World of Warcraft board game.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, I think I'm really drawn to theme, but I agree with I think John said there's a lot of thematic games out there where the gameplay or the mechanics are not good. And I think we've all been there. You snag that game because like, oh, there's a game with that theme, and it just breaks your heart sometimes to find out that the designer just didn't do it.
Like perfect example, in my opinion, the Duels of the Planeswalker game for Magic.
Yeah.
Like I thought they failed Magic in every way when they made
Yeah,
that game.
that's a really good example. Yeah, it even had miniatures and everything.
Yeah. Like I thought it was going to be amazing because I've been playing Magic since Alpha, and the whole concept was great. It was miniatures, text based, and you still had Magic cards to play with it. I thought everything about it was going to be amazing, and they just failed.
That had a lot of potential, but it just really fizzled. Yep.
That's good to know because we always see it for like $4 or $5, and Charles likes Magic, and I'm just staying away.
Yeah, I mean
Game Table give it a shot.
Yeah, we have it on our shelf.
We can try it there.
You know, I know when the local Toys R Us went out of business, they were selling a lot of stuff, and some of the D&D players picked up that game at the Toys R Us. I think they were selling it for like $4 at the Toys R Us, but they just got it for the miniatures because the miniatures are pretty cool looking.
Yeah, that's very true.
So yeah, there's a couple of games out there where they were just so close, and they just didn't do it. They just didn't get a base hit. Yeah. All right, so now we're going to go to the top 3 games. We're going to start with your number 3. We'll get everybody's number 3, and then we'll get everybody's number 2, and then we'll get everybody's number 1. Okay, that's the way we'll do it. So, Charles, we're going to start with you this time. What is your out of your top 3 games? What's your number 3?
My number 3 would be Abomination, which is a game. It's like a worker placement, and you have to. The storyline is you are the heir to Frankenstein, so you have to go around and collect body parts to make your Frankenstein to get the most victory points at the end of the game.
Another one I lose at.
Another one. It's another one I always beat them at.
What draws you to that game, Charles? I mean, is it the worker placement mechanic, or is it the theme?
I like worker placement games, and another thing that I really like about it is you can murder people.
Okay.
You have to go around France to different areas of the board. You can either dig up bodies, go to the morgue, Or if you want to get the freshest parts to have the best monster, you have to murder people.
Got it. Okay.
If you lose humanity, it gets the police after you.
But is it worth it?
It's worth it. Trust me, it's worth it. And you can't send one of your workers to go out and kill someone for you. No, you have to do it yourself.
Okay. So interesting. How about you, John? What's your number 3?
My number 3 is actually, it's a current game that I am really, really into. We picked up a copy of Wingspan, and I don't like birds. Birds weird me out. I look out in the morning and I see these birds, I'm like, get away from me. But the game is so calm and relaxing. It comes with these little hand-painted eggs, these wooden dice. Even the instruction book is almost made like out of cloth. And it's so much of a joy. You're basically building an engine with these birds, and they all kind of bounce off each other. And at the end, you have this great tableau. You're not actively going against other people. You're kind of just working on your own. And at the same time, you have minimal interaction with your other players. It's pure relaxation, and it's what I enjoy most right now.
Nice. Yeah, that's obviously in the board game, nation or whatever. That's definitely way up there. It's a hugely popular game. Jamie Stegmaier definitely hit the ball out of the park with that one. Yeah, we can't keep it on the shelves. As soon as we get it in, it flies off the shelves. So, how about you, Jesse? What's your number 3?
Well,
So
we had kind of
we
worked
had
on this one together.
a very heated
Okay, that's
discussion
fine.
about
If you
it.
guys want to answer collectively, that's okay.
So we finally decided on Euphoria,
Yeah.
building a better dystopia, which is like a worker placement resource farming where you have 4 different factions that you're trying to like work around, and they call them victory points in that game, but you're basically trying to get more victory points. But the game evolves as it goes, and kind of like what your goals are change and where you can put your workers.
Yeah, you're unlocking more and more areas as you progress, but you have to get the resources to be able to spend to unlock the new areas as you go. And then if you can lock an area down, your opponents can no longer use it, and you can actually cause your opponents to have like a bane, so that they can't do certain things if they cannot contribute to the building of a certain area within the game.
But then you're trying to like manage your workers, like morale balanced between their health.
Yeah, you gotta keep
in a
their morale
nice
up and their
dystopia-like
knowledge down.
level.
So what? So building a better dystopia. I mean, I really like the game Euphoria, but you do realize that you're either electrocuting or waterboarding your workers.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Like murders.
Well, I was gonna say, I wasn't sure, but it's like you're trying to collect artifacts, but like artifacts are like ripped teddy bears and old books because it's like still a paper book.
Yeah, no, it's a very well designed game for all the reasons that Jesse just mentioned. It's worker placement, but it's got a lot of avenues of being able to lock people out or to go different directions. And it's one of those games that it has the right amount of decision making. It's not overwhelming. In fact, I don't think I've ever played it where people have kind of got that analysis paralysis, because it's a limited number of decisions, but it's enough to keep it interesting. Yeah.
Like each playthrough so far, I've managed to play completely differently by, just like the starting workers that I had and things like that allowed me to do everything differently.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Because I think the buildings, the structures, or whatever they are, they're different every time you play too. So.
Right. That's random.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, that's one of my top games for sure. Maybe not my top 3, but it's definitely up there. So we'll stick with Jesse and Amy. What's your number 2?
For our second game we chose was actually Defenders of the Realm.
Oh yeah.
Which is hard one.
It's like fantasy pandemic.
Yeah, it's just like Pandemic, but it's a fantasy version. Yeah.
And with the fact that you have the multiple character classes with different abilities was really an interesting way, the way they set it up, and like the fact that you have the health tokens that represent the moves and the actions that you can take.
It's co-op too, which
for us is a big thing. Co-op is definitely one of our.
we really like co-op.
Yeah. Because like we were saying earlier, normally it's just the two of us playing together. So co-op makes the game night a lot more interesting.
Yeah. I really like that. I mean, the first time I played Pandemic before, I played Defenders of the Realm, but it was familiar enough. As soon as I started playing it, reading through the rules and everything, I was like, oh, it's a fantasy version of Pandemic.
That's exactly what we said the first time.
It just clicked. And I literally liked the theme, the overlay of that theme on there. That's a good game. How about you, John? What's your number 2?
My number 2? Well, another game I lose at all the time with my son, and a Game Table Cafe classic, Terraforming Mars. I didn't think I'd like this game at all. I picked it up and it sat on my shelf for like a half a year because it components weren't great.
Yeah.
I thought it's going to be real sciencey and not kind of the escape I wanted. And then I let him take a look at it. And he learned the rules, taught them to me, and then my wife loved it. We got the digital version of it. I could play with my friend Amanda and beat her, but that's not. But I like it because you're working on your engine and you're having fun. You're not attacking another player. You can zone out. And I like that you build kind of your own little Mars colony.
Sometimes you could attack other people if you want asteroids to hit them.
Yeah, that's true. Like 7
Plays the way I do.
See, maybe you guys. We'll sit back and you guys
I'm now. Yeah.
But they're about to get like 4 different points. I'm gonna hit them with the
He's
meteor.
a lot more competitive than me, so that's definitely my number 2.
And asteroids out small to large. Do you?
Yeah, I think that's the most of the games that people bring into the cafe. That's the one that people pimp out the most because of the components. It's a great game, great mechanic, but the components had a lot to be desired, and so you find a lot of people have pimped it out. That's pretty common.
Yeah, especially the little trays where the cubes go, because they slide all over.
Yeah, one little knock of the table and the game's over. All right, Charles, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is Lord of the Rings Journeys in the Middle Earth. There's an app a digital app, and you put in your adventure. You have your saved game on there. You have to have the board and the board game itself. There's you pick a Lord of the Rings character, and you go out with your team and just do adventures in Middle Earth.
It's basically like Dungeons and Dragons without a dungeon master. The computer app does everything for you. But you get into you could start one adventure and you're exploring the world, fighting monsters. Another one, we were in a tavern trying to solve a mystery together. And it's a 10 campaign, and it's really the campaign changes each time you play too, so you can keep going back.
If you're gonna play it, I recommend you try to marathon it. It works well if you marathon it.
All right.
Yeah, there's something to be said about that because the first time that we played that game, I wasn't paying enough attention to the story part, but there's clues in the story part,
Right.
and we didn't. Yeah, it didn't dawn on us, so we restarted because we realized that we were missing all kinds of clues. We were like, okay, yeah, that's the story, blah, 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 blah. Let's get to playing. But then we were losing and losing and losing and losing. And then it dawned on us that, the story has the clues of the things we should be paying attention to.
Yeah, and we did a side mission, Tom, in the first adventure, and Charles unlocked a specialty class.
Yeah, I was a Mr. Walker because I walked into fog 3 times.
and then it came helpful later on. It's really an
Yeah, I
experience.
just got to teleport to any already identified spot on the board.
Yes.
Once.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that's important about to what Charles just said is you don't want to break it up too much. I mean, I don't know if I would marathon it for an all day, but you do each of the adventures, is maybe a half hour, 45 minutes, and you could just stop. And but we found that when we do that, we forget what had happened,
Right.
and that's important to remember. So we either needed to start keeping notes, or we need to play several of them back to back. That's a good point, Charles. What and so Charles, you get the privilege of giving us your number one now. What's your number one game?
My number one game is his number two game, Terraforming Mars.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely up there for a lot of people.
He can sit and play on his own, just developing strategies. And going back to the comets, he saves his comets till he knows when I have all my plans thrown, and then there goes my plans.
Right when he's about to get 1 point from the greenery and like 7 from cities, guess what I do? I meteor him.
Boom.
I make him lose all of his plants he just worked up for like 17 turns.
Ah, that's cruel.
Makes me so sad. He'll wait until he knows he can get the double heat bonus on the heat to play his heat. I get so
salty.
salty.
To get more heat or more heat production.
And I'm just trying to make everything look nice on
I'm trying to sabotage you.
John, what's your number one game?
Pretty.
What's your number one game, John?
My number one, my wife is going to kill me because she hates this game with a passion. This is a John Charles experience. So over the years, I started getting involved in the deck building games. And I saw Marvel Legendary.
Yes.
And I'm a big comic book nerd, so I bought the base set. And I'm like, this is pretty good, but I want more. And then they started releasing expansions and more expansions. And I love it. I love the deck building. I love the co-op. I like the fact that Charles and I could sit down and put together a team based on a comic book crossover.
Yeah, we did. What if Gladiator Hulk and Korg from Planet Hulk were around for Civil War? And then we did,
We did an Apocalypse one.
X-Men versus Apocalypse.
Okay.
What was the Carnage one?
We did a Carnage one too, but I like about it is that we can sit down, me and him, and basically work out a comic book story. And I like a deck building game. And the cards, even you think after so many expansions, you'd start to get stale, but the cards just bounce off each other and they come up with so many new techniques. But I do have one issue. One man you had last week on this game table talk, Matt Taylor, he also loves Legendary. But he does not think Cyclops is a great character to put in your game.
He's not a good character.
No, lies. Cyclops
No, he is not a good
is the best
character.
X-Man to put on your team.
No, he is not. He is a terrible X-Men to put on your team.
But even going back to my comic book love, his full name is Charles Xavier. So, I mean, that shows.
We wanted to get my brother to be Patrick Stewart, but no, we still got the Patrick. But we couldn't get the Stewart. We still got the Patrick.
That's definitely my number one. I could sit down and just zone out and play it. And
yeah, it's definitely up there. You saw last week. It's definitely up there for me. Everything you just said, John. I mean, when we get ready to play it, I'm the one that likes to set it up. It takes a little bit. It takes a little bit to set it up, but I like the idea of being able to pick the villain and everything.
Set up and tear down, but it's worth it.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it.
That's
All right, over to you, Amy and Jesse. What's your number one game?
Let them go. It's their turn.
So we decided on Raiders for our first one. Yeah, because we like worker placement too.
Raiders of the North Sea?
Yeah.
Okay.
Great game.
Yep. It moves pretty quickly too, so it's like for us it's like a lighter weight game. So I like the art too.
Yeah, the art is awesome. And just I like one of the things I personally like about it is the way they do the worker placement mechanic, whereas opposed to having a number that you put in and then get back at the end of or the start of your turn, the end of the turn, where you're putting one down and then taking one off the board, so you're constantly maneuvering the board and forcing your opponent to not be able to take certain actions, and it actually gives a more of a board control effect.
Absolutely.
Yeah, on so many levels, Raiders of the North Sea hit it just right. I mean, the components, high quality components, metal coins is always a winner for me. The board is really sturdy. The artwork, both on the board and in the cards, is beautiful artwork. And then the mechanic is super clean, and like you said, you have the chance to block or not. But you're constantly weighing that decision. Do I want to do this because it's good for me, or do I want to do this because I know it's going to block my opponent? I like that element of a simple worker placement system. That's definitely
We do too.
yeah.
We just picked that one up, and we had another one they put out called Architects of the West Kingdom. And again, it's the innovative on the worker placement, so it doesn't get stale. Amazes me in each game.
Yeah.
Have you played
Every
Paladin?
game we play different.
No, that one was the next one I was gonna look
Yeah,
into.
that was like on our short list too. So.
Was it? That might be one I'll look at next.
Yeah, we have paladins in the shelf here at the game table. So
We could. That's where we learned Raiders.
Next time we go.
Yeah.
When they reopen, we'll go up and we'll go in and play.
So I've got a couple of questions from the audience that I want to hit you up with. I'm gonna go to Jesse first. What is your favorite role-playing game character archetype?
Archetype, huh? I've always been into like the castery characters, and if I can't get those, I go for your more sly rogue style characters as far as archetypes go.
What about you, Amy?
Probably like a ranger archer type character, like elf druid.
Okay. How about you, John? What's your favorite role-playing game archetype?
I like to be the off-the-wall character class. I once played a mute druid that didn't talk at all, just tried to sign language everything. Right now, my friend Amanda's vampire role-playing game she's running. I'm playing an 80s burnt-out rocker, like someone from Van Halen or something. Just like weird, out of the box, where I can be creative. Because the tactics and the strategy aren't my strong point, but the theater side and the role-playing aspect is definitely where I shine the most.
Very nice. Charles, have you played very many role-playing games?
Yes.
All right. What's your favorite archetype?
My favorite archetype would be like a wizard, like a really, like I don't want to be all super far range. I want to have some strong close range stuff, but not all range, like super range.
Okay.
And you always kind of play a cocky wizard.
Yeah, I always like the cocky wizard. In our one game I am in, I don't think I'm ever gonna find a miniature for this. A dragonborn wizard.
Oh.
That's his major.
All right.
We took his,
So you've just thrown down the gauntlet there, Charles. You get all these people listening. See if we can come up with a miniature for that. That would be cool. Very cool. All right. So got another question from the audience here. What is your favorite character to use in Marvel Legendary? I'll ask John that question.
Well, obviously, the best X-Man of all, Cyclops. I like Cyclops a lot. Well, actually, both versions. There's a Phoenix Force and a regular. Sometimes, if I'm feeling saucy, I'll include both Cyclops.
Oh, wow.
I also like the Phoenix, because the Phoenix is strong, but if she gets too corrupt, everybody dies and you win. It's like a specialized card.
I like that card. I like that card a lot.
So, Charles, what when you play Legendary, if you're setting it up, what is the character that you're going to make sure gets put into the game?
Gladiator Hulk.
You love the
Okay.
transformation.
I just, all the Planet Hulk characters I like so much.
Okay.
Because they could combo off of each other. Sometimes they could get a little mean if the other person doesn't have any like intergalactical Hulk rampage. All other players have to reveal a Hulk card or gain a wound. But that deck, it has you smash, which makes you discard cards to make your card stronger. That's good if you have a lot of wounds.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good. It's no Cyclops. But
It's a terrible character to take.
All right, so now we're going to get a little personal here, okay? Back onto the set number of questions. What type of gamer are you? And what I mean by that is, are you the rule bender? Do you always look for loopholes in the rules to get an advantage? Are you the deliberator? You're gonna sit there and think until you make just the right decision. Are you the uber competitive player? What is your gamer type? I'm gonna ask Amy this question first.
When I'm playing with Jesse, I am definitely the smug winner type. I always beat him at games with victory point trackers. And
This is true.
And not only do I always beat him, I enjoy counting the number of victory points I beat him by. Like, I get sheer joy in that.
She does.
I do that too sometimes.
I'm very lucky he's not the sore loser type. But now, to redeem myself, I'd like to say now when we're playing a co-op game, I think this is a good trait because then I'm very smug about how awesome we are because we won together.
This is also true. Because it reflects on how good she was at the game. Yeah. So, funny story, to talk about how she actually does manage to beat me probably 9 out of 10 times. If a game has a victory point tracker, we were playing Bunny Kingdom. In this game, I don't know if we played it, you have a finite number of rounds, and you go through building little hovels for your bunnies and castles, and it has a victory point tracker. We get to the end of the game. Throughout the game, or at the beginning of the game, I should say, you're given special cards, and one that she had, we had gotten to the end of the game. I had beaten her by, I think, about 4 points, and I was super happy with myself. Well, the card that she turned over at the end of the game to show me said if you're in second place at the end of the game, you gain 7 points. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I finally beat you in a game with a victory point tracker, like, all the way through, and boom, this card just completely knocks me out of the game.
Oh, wow.
For us, it was a 2-player game.
I love that. Just hearing what that card does, I love it.
So she manages somehow to win every time we have a victory point tracker.
And so, Jesse, what type of gamer are you?
I would say that I gravitate more towards like the deliberator, borderline on the ultra competitive, because I can get pretty competitive with a game. But more than anything, I think I'm more of a deliberator. I take a long time to think about what I'm going to do.
And
I do try to think about what I'm going to do while the other people are going.
But I'm too fast for him.
But so a lot of times she is way too fast for it.
All right, John, what type of gamer are you?
Well, Charles and I kind of clash with each other in our game style, so I can answer. We can both jump in here. So Charles is the type, when we get a new board game, he won't even glance through the user manual, but he'll watch a whole bunch of videos on it. And then we will proceed to open the game, and he will start to explain how to play the game to everybody. Which is okay until there's a rules discrepancy.
According to him, it is not okay.
Because I'm a rule monger. If one little thing seems out of right, I call Charles on it, I go right to the rule book. And it gets to the point where we sometimes we get into little friendly arguments about who is right.
Friendly. They are not friendly.
And it usually ends up with Charles being right, but me having to look at the instruction book and go and write for the rules. It stresses my wife out a lot, so I'm very sorry, Val, if you're watching right now. But both of your son and your husband definitely clash in our game styles.
Yes.
I have the rule book right out next to me the whole time. And Charles doesn't even need the book. He just
If I need something like symbols on cards, I keep that next to me and I try to look it up, but then he doesn't let me. He wants to look it up for himself.
And it really stinks when we get a fiddly game where the rules aren't right.
Where the rules didn't say.
Because I'll start looking online, and Charles will go to the video and try to find this part on the video, and it becomes
Tiniest.
the whole game gets paused, and my wife gets real mad. She wants it.
Off the game. I need to find this exact second in the video that says this.
And Charles is usually right. But
I'm usually right.
So Charles, how would you classify what's your gamer type? Are you the uber competitive?
I'm ultra competitive, and I could get very competitive, but most of the time I am the explainer.
Okay.
Still, I could get ultra
no, he
competitive.
gets competitive. We took Charles once a long time ago when he was 5 to the Game Cafe, and Tom was hosting Life-Size King of Tokyo. Casual fun Yahtzee game. So it's all other competitive players and me and Charles. I'm done for. I know I'm out. So we're all playing, and my friend, again, one of my friends, Amanda, leans over and goes, Charles, let's have an alliance. And Charles smiles and goes, okay. And Amanda looks at me and she goes, that was not a smart move. So the end of the round, the end of what we're assuming is the final round's coming up. And Amanda leans over and she goes, I'm going to betray your son. He's going to be upset. And Charles leans forward. He goes, excuse me, but I go before you. And he won the game with victory points.
Yeah, I'm like 5. Don't forget turn order.
Don't forget turn order.
Maybe he was 6 but it was a couple of years back.
So
he was so quiet, and the finger just goes up. He goes, excuse me, I go first.
So just to recap some of the things I learned tonight from Charles: do not get in a knife fight with Cthulhu.
That's definitely number one.
And don't forget the turn order.
Don't forget. See? An alliance with Charles only lasts until it's beneficial to him.
Helps me. That's when it ends.
And never play, what was the murder game?
Abomination.
Yeah, never play Abomination with Charles.
Yeah.
Or terraforming Mars.
Okay, so we're in this time of social distancing, and we don't get to gather with our friends, physically as much as we used to. We certainly, the Game Table Cafe has got all the chairs turned upside down on the tables, and pretty quiet in here during the day. We just get some, people coming in for takeout orders at lunchtime and at dinner time, but that's about it. So what are you guys doing to stay active in gaming? We just give us some. What are the avenues that you're pursuing? Are you playing a lot of digital stuff? Are you going back to like your favorite? I know some people have gone back to like World of Warcraft and stuff like that. What are you doing to get your gaming on during this time of social distancing? And I'm gonna go. I'm gonna hit Jon up first. What are you doing? And give us some advice.
It's pretty interesting right now because we'll still play a lot of like board games around the house, but my buddy up north in Maine started doing using Zoom. We started doing a 1980s television show, retro role-playing game, and we all meet on Zoom Monday night, and we all play. Last week we did G.I. Joe. This week we're doing 1980s Flash Gordon. So, but it's a good way, and it's with people I've never gamed before with, and brand new to me, and it's really cool meeting new faces and playing. Our other friends have set up like Jackbox party games that we can play through Zoom, family games, just things like that. I bought the digital edition of Charterstone, so we've been going through that as a family. But I miss the community that comes with like the Game Cafe and coming in and just seeing familiar faces, sitting down, learning something new. That's what I think I miss the most. But we're just trying to hang in there. And video games have also. We bought Animal Crossing on the Switch, and that I could just zone out to for a bit too.
Civilization.
That's
What about you, Charles? What are you finding yourself doing a lot of gaming in the social distancing situation we're in right now?
I've mainly been trying to lately, because for me, it's hard to find stuff to do, because like we can't go out and do like big go out to other places stuff. So most of the time, and it's not just during this, I try to think of ways to make games that don't have solo play have solo play.
Oh.
Yeah,
So even if you don't have anybody at your house and you're tired of the same exact solo play games, just try to think of your own way of doing a solo play.
What was it, King Domino the other day you were playing by
Yeah,
yourself?
I was playing King Domino by myself. And the good thing is, if you play by yourself, you can make up rules.
He also has been addicted to Civilization.
Yeah.
That's been his computer game go-to.
The Sid Meier's one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the video game.
I just got
You don't like
pair of Bluetooth.
You don't like 6 as much as mine.
No,
though.
6 was not good. Was 6 the one on the Switch?
Yeah.
Yeah, 6 was not good.
All right. Yeah, that's a good point that Charles makes. There's nothing wrong with playing what we call, where you play two people in a game. So, if a lot of games are, minimum of 2 players, but you can certainly play, both hands, if you will, in any game. I've certainly done that myself. That's some good advice, Charles. There's nothing wrong with that, and it's certainly a great way to learn the rules of a game that you haven't learned yet. So
I've done that with a lot of new games. Like I asked them if I could like open up this new game and just look at it a little after I read the rules. Sometimes he says yes, not all the time. Sometimes.
I wanted to open Gloomhaven once and play it by itself.
yeah.
Dinosaur Island.
All right.
That's a good one to do, Gloomhaven, though.
How about you guys, Amy and Jesse? What are you doing in this? I mean, you've got each other, but are you including other people, either virtually or using Zoom or anything like that? Have you guys tried any of that?
We were able to use Zoom. This was last weekend to play Castle Ravenloft with my best friend who lives out in New Mexico. And we had it all set up, and we were sending pictures of his cards to him.
So we rented the physical game from the game table, set it up at our house, and then just used Zoom.
Oh, good call. That's a good idea.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So we've been taking advantage of that, of course. Not a plan, but the games are still there. You can rent them and you can take them home if you can get a small group together safely. And then I've also taken the time to organize our game collection, and I found stuff that I forgot we had just around the house too.
Yeah, that's some good advice here. I mean, I like that. That's something I've been thinking about doing, but I haven't at home. I haven't had a chance to kind of dig into my library at home, because I think there's probably some stuff in there that I'll go, oh yeah, I forgot I had this. That's a good idea. Yeah. Okay. Well, cool. I think that this time has been really fun. I've really enjoyed talking to everybody.
That was a good time.
Yeah. We're doing this every Friday night. So those of you guys that are listening in, I might be reaching out to you here this week, inviting you to come join us next Friday. It's fun. We just chat. It's really good. I think I've gotten a lot of positive feedback from people on how much it means to them to, just to hear people talk about a subject they like, their hobby or whatever. And so I want to thank you guys for taking your time, number one, to prepare, and number two, to join us for this session. I think it means a lot.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. It was a wonderful opportunity.
I agree. agree.
So
and thank you for everything you do for the community too, especially with us having to all be apart, trying to keep
Absolutely.
everybody together and interacting.
well, thanks, guys. Yeah, we're trying hard to keep the community together as much as we can. We obviously can't have people in here. I was thinking earlier today, when we do get the all clear or whatever, we'll have to have some type of a big, reopening party or something like that to bring everybody back in.
Yes, absolutely.
But
We're doing all Cyclops legendary.
oh yeah, we'll have to make sure we invite Matt to that, right?
Matt will love it. Matt's favorite X-Men Cyclops.
Yeah, so we're just trying to keep the team together, both our employees, trying to keep them busy. So we started producing these videos, and I don't know if you've seen either of our live stream games that we like last night. We got to play Castle Panic with 5 people. It was a blast.
That's awesome.
And so we post that up on our Discord channel. I think next week we're planning to do for the Play With Us videos. On Wednesday, Thursday, I think we're planning to do, was it Flashpoint? I don't know if anybody can see Flashpoint. Firefighting game, House is on Fire. It's co-op. So you guys are welcome to join us for that on Thursday. And then next Saturday, we're going to do Forbidden Desert, another co-op game. So yeah, you guys should think about joining us for those events. We do it exactly the same way we're doing this, although we have a camera that's pointing down on the board and the cards and everything. And then either John or Bill will move the pieces or help you play the cards as you give us direction over Zoom. It's a lot of fun. So
Maybe you'd like Forbidden Desert.
yeah, and it's just like this. You get to interact with people. There's a lot of commentary that goes on. People getting to know each other over Zoom, so it's a lot of fun. So you should certainly think about joining us for some of those events. Again, we post all that on our Facebook page, and we post it on our Discord channel. So be sure to check on those as the week goes on. And as a reminder, we're open for lunch and dinner, takeout only. You can call in, and we'd be happy to make anything on our menu and have it ready to go for you to come in and grab and go. So we'll see you all soon whenever this thing passes. In the meantime, don't go out unless it's essential. Stay at home and be safe. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.